Hey everybody, it's Maggie Mulhern. We are here in New York City at the Moroccanoil Academy with Liza Espinosa,
Hi.
a key educator here in the Academy. And you just had a great class today,
Yes.
a cutting mastery class. And it was a packed house, but some of the artists agreed to stay. If you want to check this out, a little boutique class, checking out, because you guys, she was great, right? Was she a great educator?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was great. So they said, oh, you're doing more, we want to stick around. So Liza has pre-cut this hair, and she's going to do a reveal at the end. And what are you calling this look?
This is Jagged Jet, and this is one of our new signature looks for the year. So this is something that's very textured and modern, almost a modern shag, but we've got a little bit of a different twist on
We love
it.
it. We love it as long as she's saying modern. So I'm going to go take this. You guys ask your questions. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask, and take it away.
All
Liza.
right. Okay, well, where we have started here, I started in my center back, and you guys can see this is a little bit of a different sectioning. I'm actually creating horizontals, and I'm starting from the top, creating my guide, and within each section, pushing it all up, flipping that hair for some softness just with my fingers, and point cutting as well. So I'm actually cutting from the inside out, which is a little bit different, right? So you can see when that falls, I did not cut her length first. This is creating this volume, and this is what's different about this shag. It's a little bit heavier around the middle. We're creating this weight and volume, and then we're also cutting our perimeter line at the same time. Now, in front of her ear, I do want to pull this back. Make sure your elevation is kind of perpendicular to the floor. I want to be parallel. I don't want to be too high or too low, because I don't want to build too much weight. And can you see I'm standing in front of the section that I'm cutting, really? All right, so again, point cutting, that nice straight line, getting that hair off, and when I comb down, you can see I've got some really nice movement going on, right? Now, the key to that, I had this horseshoe section that was taken out. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we did something similar to this, so you guys in the class will recognize a little bit of this. I took sections, created a guide, decided where I wanted to see that, and where I got my guide from was bringing it down the back and seeing where did I want to create that weight, right? So that's my starting point. It will be a bit disconnected. I've now gone through, and you can see my line. Look at this. So I am surface slicing and just going up that strand. I did leave a section undone to show you. Radial partings, moving around. So what that means, for those of you that don't always work that way, we're pivoting around the head shape. And we had a lot of fun today, Maggie, because we were talking about the hands of a clock, and how we're like the minute hand. We're moving around that head shape. So you can see, can you see my guide there? Right there, see that? So that's what I'm connecting to. I wanna create this nice angle, putting my shears in, but you'll notice my shears are moving, but my hand and my arm is actually moving up at the same time. And that gives me a really beautiful concave. All right, take that off. Keep on moving. I already did most of this. It is a bit repetitive because we're doing the same things, but it's important that we do them well and we do them with discipline. So, can you see that coming off from your angle, Maggie?
Yeah, this is great. All right, so I have a question. Your model has gorgeous hair.
Yeah, lots
what
of it.
happens when you have a model who has very thin hair? And I'm going to ask the same thing about curly hair.
Yes. Okay, so that's a great, very valid question, because we have to adjust everything. With finer hair, I mean, this is great because we're building this weight up on the underneath, right? So we're already leaving her fuller and, you know, more density in this middle area, as opposed to a lot of shags where they're really slimming that a lot, right? So that'll leave her more density, and you can choose what your angles are. So you can take off more or less by doing the same technique. Not a big deal. Curly hair, it's amazing because also you can see that's kind of my final. So with curly hair, it's amazing because we've got this little overlay, which you'll see more at my reveal. And I'm also going to do a little bit of freehand cutting on this. And with curly hair, that's what's beautiful, because when you have curl, you don't want everything to fit perfectly sculpted, because then that's why it looks like a bush, right?
You know what I'm loving? If we might have to move her just a tiny bit, but this is a very cool thing about the Academy. You have this aerial view of what's going. Maybe move her a little bit this way, a little bit.
Oh yeah, so we can see that. Sure.
That's cool. That's great.
Okay, let's see. Can you see this? Oh, we gotta move our
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
Let's move our chair. Oh, let me spin her this way. Let's see.
Maybe I should have prepared you for this.
That's okay.
right, so you're right
do you
there.
want me to move the chair?
Well, it's just, yeah, let's just get it set up, because I want to show everybody what the Academy offers. Do you want to just,
Okay, we'll just push her a little bit, push her
Yeah,
chair
there we go.
over. We
Yeah.
got a strong man here. There
Yeah.
we go. We got a strong man here.
wait,
All
hang on, where's the strong man? There, yay!
This is an important part, because we've been doing concave layering now throughout this whole thing, and now what I'm going to do is convex on this fringe. I'm coming from the underneath, and I'm going to create a convex shape. So in other words, we've got our concave, you can see our layers. I'm going to come from underneath. I want to look at where I kind of want to see that hit on the bridge of her nose, come from under, and then create that triangle with that weight in the middle, and create a beautiful fringe that'll still have some density. I'll hold that there.
How do you determine the length? Did anybody see that video recently of a young woman cutting her own
Oh
bangs?
my
and,
gosh.
And they bounced up, and she cut them, she thought, to the end of her nose, and they bounced up to
Right.
above her eyebrows.
Well,
pretty sad.
Yeah, and again, depending, are you cutting wet, are you cutting dry, there's tension. You know, I like to say that wet hair lies and dry hair tells the truth. So, you know, obviously we need to have less tension and stay a little longer when we're working on wet hair. This is a dry haircut, so we can pretty well see where our hair is going to sit. And take these out. I do have to detail this a bit, but can you see what's starting to happen? I mean, and Katie, God bless, thank you so much, Katie. Katie had one length hair when she came in, and this was her length. And it was completely one length. So when we talked about what we wanted to do, I'm gonna just do a little bit of surface slicing, break those ends up.
Yeah.
If the camera can see this, we've got, from the way we cut that concave, we've got these cool overlay bits that hang over the underneath, right? So then you get that fullness, and you've got the shortness and the overlay.
So it's kind of like a veil, like
It-
you know?
absolutely
Okay.
like a veil. That's a great word. And I'm just gonna visually blend this with my surface slicing. Also gonna go up underneath. I'm gonna do something that I like to call levitation. And this just helps on that crowner if they get a little heavy or full. I'm gonna pinch here, and just starting out brick lay, a little bit of airiness through that strand, which really just helps to pop that crown up. So, I mean, I could probably work on her all day, but what I'll do is add a little product. I will take a minute just to polish. When you do cut dry, guys, bear in mind that when you blue dry her ends, where her ends are now, were her middle, right? So now when you've cut it, they look a bit, like you can see this side, it looks too straight. It looks too solid. So I'm just gonna bend that a bit so I can really see the shape. So if you don't mind, I'll just take a few minutes for that.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I was going to ask you guys, what were some aha moments from your class today? Were there anybody learn anything really special that you can take back to the salon? Oh, do I see somebody who's, who are you? What is your name?
My name is Brittany Trutello. The class was amazing. I learned a lot of the anatomy of the razor. I do a lot of razor techniques and cutting, but I realized that I was not utilizing the entire razor, and I could get so much more haircuts out of that razor, and it's so much less effort throughout the entire cut.
Oh, that's any other good aha moments or good takeaways? Anybody coming to any other classes? What classes is everybody looking forward to? The styling, yeah.
We learned a lot of great techniques and styling too today, which was great. The finishing of the haircuts. And that's like very, very important when you're doing that. That's working with the flat iron, new techniques with the flat iron. So it was very interesting, and we're doing this a long time, and I learned a lot. So it's great.
That's so great. And how many days is this workshop?
This is 3 days.
3 days. And then you guys, once you do your class, you go over there to those poor dead mannequins over there. And we have another educator in the room. We have somebody hiding back there. Identify yourself.
I am Kelly Fahey.
Kelly Fahey. We've done wonderful videos with you in the past. And what classes do you teach?
So I teach all the cutting classes. We have a foundations class, which is 1 day. We have the Academy collection, which is 3 days. And then this was our first time presenting the cutting mastery class, which is more advanced cutting too. So they're all really great. We show a lot of foundational skills, body movement, body position. And you know, it's just so important if you've been doing hair for a small amount of time or a large amount of time, just to kind of check yourself and get back in there, and to see everybody take the time off and come in. It's just a really inspiring time to just get together and play, you know, have fun.
Yeah, we've heard that 2020 is the year of advanced education, so it's so cool to see all you guys here. All right, so the code, the dryer is off, so we're back.
The dryer's off. I mean, I think this looks pretty amazing. I'm going to use just a little bit of molding cream
Show
to
us
give
what
it.
that is. Show
Yep.
us what you're using.
Little bit of our molding cream. This is one of my favorite products. It's very creamy. It's not too tacky, but it does have a little bit of oomph to it, right? You can use it for lifting, for separating. I even use it sometimes with my flat iron to press a little smoothness into the hair because it has a little bit of fibrousness. But her hair is very fine and kind of soft, so it adds a little bit of something to that strand. And then I'm gonna do a little bit also on her ends of our, oh my gosh, I just went blank. Our mending infusion. Oh my gosh. Mending infusion, you're making me nervous, Maggie. So
I do that to people.
This is our mending infusion. This is like a top coat for the hair. This is super amazing. I just did 3 pumps, but if you'll notice on her ends where her color is and we've just cut, you'll notice that, look, it just kind of seals that cuticle, puts that instant shine, gives her that really glossy, sort of luxurious look that she wants. Can you see that happening there? I know that you
This
can.
really is a modern shag. It
Yes,
really
thank
is. It's very
you.
cool.
And to finish, always my Luminous Hairspray Strong, just a small bit. Do you feel sexy, Katie? Looks great. I mean, it's just amazing on her. Big change of her shape, and I think she's going to love it. And I thank you so much for allowing me to do it on you, because that was such a fun change.
Yeah, that was a big change, and also very just what's happening in 2020.
Yes.
So what would you say are the 1 or 2 biggest mistakes people do in finishing a cut like this?
One, I think that definitely there is a component of disconnection, right? So it shifts from a technical standpoint to a visual standpoint. So we definitely need to kind of step away, look at her silhouette, see how it's suiting her. Detailing is everything, you know, really getting it to sit nicely where the cheekbone area, those ends are polished and finished. Look at your profile and just make sure you do those great little touches. Greatness is in the details. So those little touches take it from a more generic shape to something that's more personalized and thoughtful.
So as an educator, what would you say are 2, 3 of the most common questions that you get? What's going on out in the world that people really need to sharpen, a skill people need to sharpen?
I know we get a lot of cutting education for sure, and within that, I think because we haven't been doing as much of that in previous years, right? People are coming back to really wanting hardcore cutting education, and styles are shifting. Shapes are getting a little heavier in some areas, and even the ones that are textured or taken out are being done differently than they were. So they're wanting to know how they can evolve their skills in those ways. How do they do more solids, heavier shapes without them looking like the mom bob or the older dated type of look? And how do I get texture where it looks natural and beautiful?
That's cool. So any questions? Do you guys have any questions here? Or our little petite class? Nothing. She's a very good educator.
You loved it? Yay! Thank you. Thanks for staying. It was lovely, Maggie. Thank you for having me in
No,
today.
thank you for doing this. And how do we follow you? How do we get more information about Moroccanoil Pro?
Absolutely. So we have on our website, which is www.moroccanoilprofessionals.com. All of our professionals can sign up. We have tutorials, calendar for Academy, which is amazing. And on Instagram, we have @Moroccanoil Pro, which they also post a lot and repost. So a lot of people, if you're doing cool stuff out there with our products or our education, tag us as well. And mine is @Moda, MODA, LIZA, and the number 2. And I'd love to just hang with everybody. That would be lovely.
That's cool. And I'm going to give a shout out to the Modern Salon. We did a great one last week, and it's a social media. It's a 2-day workshop on social media. The next one is in July.
Excellent.
And it's great because we have people who are accomplished Instagrammers and influencers come in. We do a workshop. We actually do editing. It's a great class.
Oh, that's super
And it was
important.
sold out, and it was
Oh,
wonderful.
wow.
It was so much
No
fun.
chance for me.
You were there. You were there. Okay. All right. On the spot.
Very
That's right. Now I recognize you. What did you think?
It was great. I learned a lot. I mean, I'm in the beginning stages of it, but I learned what I needed to correct. I learned the editing was great. Even the little things like putting editing apps together, which helps save time because it does take a lot of time after your regular day of work. But they showed us shortcuts on how to do things, how to fix your pictures, how to make it more professional. The information was endless, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
You know what? You were not a plant, and you know what your bonus is for saying all that? How do we follow you?
Style by Dorothea.
Say it-
Style by Dorothea.
@Style by
Dorothea.
Dorothy. You want to spell Dorothea to make
It's
sure?
DOROTHEA.
I'm so glad that you said that and that you were there. That's right. I remember you now.
Yes, it was great.
It was busy. It was fun for us also.
Yes.
So hope to see you guys all there. Hope you can come and take it. The next time we have it in July. I can't remember the date, but it's in July. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for
Thank
sharing your
you.
hair, and
Yes.
go to MoroccanoilProfessionals.com.
Love you.
Bye.